It's just been announced that another missing nuclear official has suddenly vanished. The disappearance of Steven Garcia has added another unsettling chapter to a growing and deeply concerning pattern involving individuals connected to highly sensitive areas of American research and national defense. On the 28th of August, 2025, Garcia, a 48-year-old government contractor, was last seen leaving his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Surveillance footage captured him walking calmly away, dressed casually, carrying only a small amount of supplies and a personal firearm. From that moment onward, he was never seen again. Garcia's role placed him in a position of considerable responsibility. He was reportedly connected to the Kansas City National Security Campus, a facility known for its critical involvement in maintaining and producing key components used in national defense systems. His duties allegedly granted him broad access to valuable equipment and sensitive materials, positioning him as someone deeply embedded within a highly controlled and secure environment. This context has made his sudden disappearance all the more difficult to understand. What has drawn even greater attention to the case is its connection to a wider pattern. Garcia is now considered the 10th individual in recent years, with ties to advanced aerospace or nuclear-related work, to either vanish or pass under unexplained circumstances. Even more striking is the similarity in how several of these individuals disappeared. Like Garcia, they were last seen leaving familiar surroundings on foot, carrying very little, and seemingly without any indication that something was about to change. Authorities initially suggested that Garcia may have been experiencing personal difficulties, but those who knew him have challenged that view. According to those familiar with his character, he was stable, focused, and not someone who would simply walk away without reason. This contrast between official assumptions and personal accounts has added to the sense of mystery surrounding the case. In the days following his disappearance, efforts were made to uncover any clues that might explain his actions. Work records, communications, and personal data were reviewed, yet nothing provided a clear direction. It was as if he had stepped out of his normal life without leaving behind any trace of intention. Some observers have pointed to the possibility that individuals in such sensitive positions may attract unwanted attention due to the nature of their work. The idea that external forces could take an interest in those connected to advanced technologies has been discussed for years. In this context, Garcia's disappearance is not seen as an isolated event, but as part of a broader and more complex pattern. The growing list of similar cases has raised quiet concern among those who follow developments in national security. Each individual case may appear unique, but together they form a pattern that is difficult to ignore. The locations, the roles, and the circumstances all suggest a connection that has yet to be fully understood. Mysterious UFO drones seen hovering over gold reserves for hours. The appearance of unidentified aerial objects hovering above some of the most secure locations in the Netherlands has become one of the most unsettling mysteries of recent times. Over the course of a single weekend in November 2026, multiple objects described as drones were observed moving deliberately across a network of highly sensitive sites. These were not random locations, nor were they isolated incidents. Instead, they formed a pattern that pointed towards something coordinated and purposeful. Among the locations observed was Camp New Amsterdam, a site known for housing the gold reserves of the nation's central bank. This facility is protected by advanced security systems and specialized personnel trained to handle high-risk scenarios. Despite this, unidentified objects were able to remain present in the airspace above it for extended periods. At nearly the same time, similar activity was reported over Drakenstein Castle, a royal residence with its own layers of protection and surveillance. The pattern extended even further. Additional sightings were reported over Volkel Air Base and Eindhoven Air Base, both of which hold significant military importance. Around the same period, activity was also noted near a major gas extraction site operated by National Energy Infrastructure. The combination of these locations, financial, royal, military, and energy, created a picture that was difficult to dismiss as coincidence. What makes this situation particularly unusual is the apparent coordination of these aerial presences. The objects did not drift randomly or appear briefly. They remained, observed for hours, moving in ways that suggested awareness of their surroundings. This behavior does not align with casual or accidental intrusion. Instead, it suggests a level of intent and capability that has yet to be explained. Despite the seriousness of these events, no confirmed origin has been identified. No individuals have been linked to the activity, and no clear explanation has been offered that connects all of the sightings into a single narrative. The absence of attribution has become one of the most concerning aspects of the mystery. Whoever was responsible appeared to know exactly where to go and when to appear, targeting locations of strategic importance across multiple sectors. Behind the scenes, the response has reflected a growing awareness of the issue. Efforts to strengthen counter-drone capabilities have accelerated, with investments in detection systems, signal disruption technologies, and aerial interception methods. These measures indicate that the events were not viewed as minor or isolated occurrences, but as part of a broader concern. At the same time, similar reports have surfaced in other parts of Europe, describing comparable activity over restricted areas. Each case has been treated individually, yet the pattern remains consistent: short bursts of activity, highly sensitive locations, and no confirmed source. The owner of a popular coffee shop in California vanishes without a trace. The sudden disappearance of Amy Hillyard has left an entire community in shock, as the well-known coffee shop owner seemed to vanish without a trace in one of California's most familiar neighborhoods. A respected figure in the Bay Area, she was known not only for co-owning a popular chain of coffee shops with her husband, but also for the way she brought people together through her warmth and generosity. Amy, a mother of two, was last seen on the morning of Wednesday, the 20th of March, near her home in the Cleveland Heights area of Oakland. A neighbor recalled seeing her leave the house with the family dog, an ordinary moment that would soon take on an unsettling significance. What made the situation even more unusual was that she had left her phone behind, something those close to her say was completely out of character. As hours turned into days, concern quickly grew. Her husband reached out to neighbors, hoping someone had seen her, while authorities launched a search effort. Officials noted that Amy may have been at risk due to an undisclosed medical condition, adding urgency to the situation. Despite these efforts, no clear trace of her movements has been found, and the mystery surrounding her disappearance has only deepened. By Sunday evening, more than 100 friends, family members, and members of the community gathered for a candlelit vigil near the area where she was last seen. The atmosphere was heavy with emotion as people embraced, shared memories, and held on to hope. Those who knew her described her as someone who brought people together in times of need, making the outpouring of support feel like a reflection of the life she had built. Amy's influence extended far beyond her coffee shops. She had spent over 2 decades serving the community, not only through her business, but also through her work with local organizations and her consulting career. She was seen as a pillar of the community, someone who supported others and helped create a sense of belonging. Yet despite the strong presence she maintained in so many lives, her disappearance remains unexplained. The last confirmed details are simple and haunting. She walked out of her home in a white shirt, blue jeans, and white sneakers, and then seemed to vanish into thin air. As the search continues, the mystery of Amy Hillyard lingers over Oakland, leaving behind unanswered questions and a community united in hope that she will one day be found. The mystery of Sabrina Hines. The mysterious disappearance of Sabrina Hines has left a growing sense of unease in South Carolina, as weeks have passed without any clear answers. A devoted mother and hard-working woman, Sabrina was last seen on the evening of the 28th of January, 2026, leaving her workplace in Winsboro. What should have been a routine journey home instead became the beginning of a troubling mystery. Her last confirmed sighting occurred at a gas station along SC 200, where she was seen shortly before 10 in the evening. After that moment, there were no further confirmed interactions, no calls, and no messages. When she failed to return home and did not appear for work, concern quickly turned into alarm. By the 30th of January, she was officially reported missing, setting off a search that would soon expand beyond local authorities. A significant clue emerged when her employer activated GPS tracking on her company vehicle. The signal led investigators to a stretch of Interstate 77 near Blythewood. There, her Honda SUV was found abandoned on the shoulder of the road. The vehicle appeared as though it had simply stopped, possibly out of fuel, with the engine no longer running but the system still active. Inside, her personal belongings remained untouched, offering no immediate explanation for her sudden absence. This discovery raised more questions than answers. There were no visible signs of struggle, no clear indication of what had happened after the vehicle came to a stop. Investigators began to consider the possibility that someone may have approached her along the roadside, either to help or for reasons unknown. If that moment did occur, it may have been the last interaction before she vanished completely. As the search intensified, the involvement of federal authorities brought additional attention to the case. The FBI joined local law enforcement, providing resources and expertise in an effort to uncover new leads. Search teams combed through areas surrounding the interstate, carefully examining any possible trace that could point to her whereabouts. Despite these efforts, the trail has remained frustratingly quiet. For Sabrina's family, the silence has been the hardest part. Her daughter described the emotional toll of not hearing her voice, of waiting each day without answers. The sudden absence of someone who had always been present in her life has created a void that words struggle to describe. The mystery of Sabrina Hines continues to linger, defined by unanswered questions and a single abandoned vehicle on a quiet stretch of road. As of 2026, James Nunan's case remains unsolved. The disappearance of James Nunan has become one of the most puzzling maritime mysteries in recent years, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions stretching from the shores of Gran Canaria to the open waters of the Atlantic. Known affectionately to his family as Jemsy, the 34-year-old had set out in March 2025 on what was meant to be a life-changing journey around the world. His dream was simple yet ambitious, to sail across vast oceans and eventually reach Brazil. Instead, his journey ended in uncertainty. On the evening of the 19th of August, 2025, James was seen in Las Palmas after mooring his boat, Quejar. He spent part of the night in a local bar, accompanied by his small dog, Thumbelina. Witnesses later recalled that he appeared in good spirits, speaking about his plans to sail onward to Lanzarote. Hours later, he was seen again purchasing food, but during that time, his backpack was taken. Despite efforts by those nearby to help him recover it, he eventually left, and in the early hours of the next morning, he reported his passport missing at a police station. This would be the final confirmed sighting of James Nunan. Days later, concern began to grow when his boat failed to arrive at its expected destination. A search was launched, and on the 25th of August, a surveillance aircraft located Quejar drifting at sea, miles away from where it should have been. The sight was both relieving and deeply troubling. The vessel was intact enough to be identified, and Thumbelina was found alive on board, but James himself was nowhere to be seen. When the boat was recovered and examined, the mystery only deepened. Inside, there were signs that something unusual had taken place. Items were scattered across the cabin in a way that did not appear accidental. Tools, clothing, and personal belongings were found out of place, as if events had unfolded suddenly and without warning. Even more concerning were stains believed to be blood, discovered in key areas of the vessel. Samples were collected, but the results have not been publicly shared. Adding to the sense of unease was the condition of James's electronic devices. Several were found severely damaged, showing signs of burning that did not match any obvious source. There was no clear indication of a fire on board, leaving investigators with the difficult task of explaining how such damage could have occurred in the middle of the ocean. For the private investigator hired by the family, these details suggested that the situation was far from straightforward. Further inspection of the vessel revealed mechanical issues. Parts of the boat were damaged or disconnected, including safety features designed to prevent someone from falling overboard. While some have suggested that these issues could point to an accident, others believe they may have been caused deliberately. The combination of disarray, damage, and unexplained evidence created a picture that did not easily align with a simple scenario. Despite these concerns, one theory has persisted. Authorities have considered the possibility that James may have lost his footing and fallen into the sea. The conditions during that period were challenging, with strong winds and shifting currents that could quickly carry someone away. Yet for his family, this explanation does not fully account for what was found on the boat. The presence of his dog, unharmed and alone, adds another layer to the mystery. Thumbelina's survival suggests that whatever happened occurred quickly, leaving no time for preparation or response. It is a detail that continues to weigh heavily on those searching for answers. As time passes, the disappearance of James Nunan remains unresolved. His boat was found, his belongings were recovered, but the man himself has never been located. The case now exists in a space between explanation and uncertainty, where each piece of evidence raises new questions rather than providing closure. For his family, the search is not just about finding out what happened, but about understanding the final moments of a journey that was meant to be filled with adventure and hope. Instead, it has become a mystery carried by the ocean, one that continues to drift without resolution. The Delhi missing persons spike. In early February 2026, an unsettling pattern began to emerge in India's capital city. Reports revealed that more than 800 people had gone missing within the span of just a few weeks, a figure that immediately sparked widespread concern. While large cities often experience a steady number of missing persons cases, the sudden surge in such a short time frame felt different, more intense, and far harder to explain. The individuals who vanished came from a wide range of backgrounds. Some were young adults, others were older, and many were described by their families as living ordinary, stable lives. There was no single profile that connected them, no obvious pattern that investigators could easily follow. This lack of clear connection only deepened the mystery, leaving both authorities and the public searching for answers that did not seem to come. Officials attempted to calm growing fears by suggesting that the numbers might reflect delayed reporting or administrative overlap. However, for many observers, this explanation did little to address the deeper concern. The idea that hundreds of people could seemingly disappear within such a short period raised questions about whether something larger was unfolding beneath the surface. Families across Delhi found themselves caught in a wave of uncertainty. For them, the situation was not about statistics or official statements, but about loved ones who had simply not returned home. Community groups began organizing searches, sharing information, and spreading awareness through local networks and social media. Despite these efforts, progress appeared slow, and many cases remained unresolved. Adding to the unease was the absence of consistent clues. In some cases, there were last known sightings, brief phone signals, or small fragments of information, but nothing that pointed clearly in one direction. It created a sense that people were not just going missing, but doing so in a way that left almost no trace behind. The scale of the situation also placed pressure on local systems. Investigators were faced with managing a large number of cases simultaneously, each requiring time, resources, and attention. As days passed, the challenge of keeping up with new reports while trying to solve existing ones became increasingly difficult. For many, the spike in disappearances felt like more than coincidence. It carried an atmosphere of uncertainty that lingered over the city, raising questions about safety, awareness, and the unseen factors that might be at play. Conversations spread quickly, with theories and concerns circulating among residents who struggled to make sense of what was happening. As February continued, the mystery of Delhi's missing persons surge remained unresolved. The mystery of David Fretwell. The mysterious disappearance of David Fretwell has left the Cornish coastline marked by uncertainty and concern as the search for the 75-year-old skipper continues without clear answers. Known to be an experienced sailor, David had been travelling along the North Cornwall coast in the days leading up to the 6th of March, 2026. His journey appeared routine, passing through familiar waters near Padstow and Newquay before reaching the St Ives area. The situation took a troubling turn when his boat, the Green Goddess, was discovered washed ashore at Haley Beach. Early that morning, emergency services were alerted to the wreckage scattered across the sands of Mexico Towns. What responders found was not a single intact vessel, but fragments of a journey abruptly interrupted. Pieces of the hull, life jackets, gas canisters, and personal belongings were strewn across the shoreline, creating a scene that suggested something sudden and powerful had occurred at sea. Despite the immediate response, which included Coast Guard teams, lifeboats, and a helicopter, there was no sign of David. The search covered both the water and surrounding coastline, yet no trace of him was found. By the afternoon, the active search was paused, leaving behind only the debris and a growing sense of mystery. For those living nearby, the discovery was deeply unsettling. Items from the boat continued to appear along the beach, carried in by the tide, each piece raising further questions about what had happened in the moments before the vessel broke apart. The absence of any direct evidence or witness accounts has made it difficult to determine whether the incident was caused by sudden conditions, a mechanical issue, or something else entirely. The vanishing of Lynette Hooker. The disappearance of Lynette Hooker has become a deeply unsettling mystery, unfolding across the open waters of the Bahamas and leaving behind a series of questions that remain unanswered. An experienced sailor and confident swimmer, Lynette had spent years around the ocean, making the circumstances surrounding her vanishing all the more difficult to understand. According to initial accounts, Lynette was on a small boat with her husband near Elbow Cay when the incident occurred. The vessel, described as a small, hard-bottomed dinghy, was navigating through waters affected by strong winds and shifting currents. Her husband later explained that she fell overboard during the journey, and despite his efforts to reach her, the conditions caused them to drift apart. He stated that the currents quickly carried her away, leaving him unable to bring her back to safety. What followed added further complexity to the situation. He reported that Lynette had taken the boat's keys with her when she fell, leaving him without power and forcing him to paddle the vessel back toward shore. Hours later, he arrived at a boatyard and informed others that his wife was missing. Authorities were alerted, and a large-scale search began across the surrounding waters. Despite the extensive search efforts involving multiple agencies, no trace of Lynette was found. The absence of clear evidence, combined with the challenging conditions at sea, made the situation increasingly difficult to piece together. For those closest to her, the explanation did not seem to fully align with her experience and abilities. Her daughter, in particular, expressed disbelief that someone so familiar with the ocean could simply vanish without a trace. As the investigation progressed, authorities began to examine the circumstances more closely. A man connected to the case was taken into custody for questioning, adding another layer of uncertainty to the narrative. While he has firmly denied any wrongdoing and continues to cooperate with investigators, the development has intensified interest in the case and raised further questions about what truly happened that night. The waters around Elbow Cay are known for their beauty, but also for their unpredictability. Strong currents and sudden changes in weather can create dangerous conditions, even for those with experience. Yet, the lack of physical evidence and the unusual sequence of events have left investigators working through multiple possibilities. The mystery of Lynette Hooker's disappearance remains unresolved, suspended between the forces of nature and the unknown details of that evening. In the last few days, a striking radar anomaly has been circulating widely across social media, leaving many both fascinated and unsettled. The anomaly in question revealed a massive circular formation, nearly 25 miles wide, spanning across portions of Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. What has captured so much attention is not only the sheer size of this anomaly, but the fact that it was not fleeting. For more than 20 minutes, radar data showed the presence of this circular ring moving with the clouds before it faded from view. At first glance, some dismissed the image as nothing more than a glitch, an occasional quirk that can appear on weather radar systems. However, the persistence and definition of the ring quickly ruled out such a simple explanation. Unlike typical radar distortions, this anomaly was recorded for nearly half an hour, moving in unison with the surrounding cloud systems. The precision of the circular formation suggested that something unusual was indeed present in the atmosphere above the affected region. The anomaly spanned a vast area, covering cities such as Fort Wayne, Kokomo, and stretching outward across multiple state lines. Meteorologists observing the event have been unable to reach a consensus on what exactly was recorded, while citizens who witnessed the anomaly unfold online have been left with a mixture of awe and apprehension. The question remains: what could produce such a well-defined circular radar signature that persists for so long? One of the most discussed possibilities is that this could be evidence of advanced military technology being tested. In recent decades, there have been increasing discussions about the use of atmospheric manipulation, stealth shielding, and advanced radar jamming techniques. Some speculate that the ring may have been the atmospheric imprint of a high-energy field or a cloaking system being evaluated by the military. If true, such technology would represent a leap in capability, creating a visible disturbance on radar while remaining hidden from the human eye. Others have suggested that the anomaly could be linked to experimental weather modification techniques. The size and shape of the ring, coupled with its duration, fit the profile of directed energy interacting with cloud systems. If such technologies are being deployed or tested, the implications for weather control would be extraordinary. For the general public, however, the lack of official explanation only deepens the mystery. What stands out most is the silence that has followed. No official agency has stepped forward to provide clarification, leaving observers to draw their own conclusions. This silence has only fueled speculation as citizens across the affected region continue to share and discuss the event. The persistence of the anomaly, its size, and the lack of explanation all suggest that this was far more than a passing radar error. For now, the radar ring stands as one of the most fascinating atmospheric anomalies in recent times. Yet what makes this even more unusual is that it is not an isolated case, as similar weather anomalies have been detected across the globe. Another mysterious radar anomaly has once again captured attention, this time appearing above the skies of Michigan. The strange phenomenon took the form of a massive circular formation, spanning miles across, and was visible for a significant period of time on weather radar systems. Those monitoring the data noticed how the ring-shaped anomaly moved in tandem with surrounding atmospheric activity, yet its formation and definition were unlike anything caused by ordinary weather patterns. Observers who have been following these anomalies closely were quick to point out that this is not the first time such a structure has been detected. In fact, similar circular formations have been reported in recent years across various parts of the United States, sparking discussions about what exactly could be causing these unusual signatures. While some dismissed them as simple glitches, the persistence and scale of these anomalies have led many to believe that something far more complex is unfolding above the region. Adding to the mystery, insiders have quietly suggested that advanced military testing could be responsible for the strange radar readings. According to these individuals, projects involving energy-based technology, atmospheric manipulation, or even advanced radar countermeasures may occasionally leave behind these large-scale imprints on civilian weather systems. However, despite growing speculation, official statements have been noticeably absent. The military has not taken accountability for these events, leaving the public to piece together the puzzle on their own. For residents of Michigan and those across social media, the sight of such an enormous circular anomaly hovering above the state raises many questions. The sheer size of the formation, coupled with its defined and symmetrical shape, does not resemble the randomness of natural weather. To many, this suggests deliberate design, a byproduct of technology operating on a scale most people can hardly imagine. What unsettles observers even more is the consistency of these events. If these anomalies were truly glitches, they would not repeatedly manifest with such clarity and structure. Each new sighting adds weight to the belief that something significant is happening quietly behind the scenes. Whether it is linked to atmospheric experiments, classified technology, or even unknown aerial phenomena, the absence of transparent answers only deepens the intrigue. For now, the Michigan anomaly remains one of the most talked-about radar events in recent memory. Its size, persistence, and the silence surrounding it have left many with the impression that much more is going on in the skies than the public is being told. Until accountability is taken, the mystery will continue to fuel questions, and each new anomaly will be studied with growing intensity by those determined to uncover the truth. A new radar anomaly has sparked conversation after appearing above India, lingering in the skies for 14 minutes. The strange, circular formation was detected by weather systems in the region and quickly brought to wider attention after being discovered by an avid skywatcher who shared the footage across social media platforms. The circular shape stood out immediately, not resembling ordinary storm activity, and its persistence on the radar added weight to the claim that this was not a fleeting glitch. The anomaly appeared as a perfectly rounded formation, sharply defined against the backdrop of scattered weather patterns. Unlike the irregular movements typically seen with rainfall or storm systems, this ring maintained its shape for an extended duration before finally fading from view. Its duration of 14 minutes only deepened the mystery, as short-lived radar errors rarely maintain such consistency. To many, the footage represented yet another piece in a growing puzzle that has recently captivated observers worldwide. This anomaly in India joins a long and expanding list of similar circular radar signatures that have been detected across the globe. In the past year alone, large rings have been recorded above parts of the United States and Europe, each time sparking debates about their origins. The repeated occurrence of these anomalies has led many to wonder if a broader pattern is unfolding, one that links regions and events in ways that scientists have yet to fully explain. Some have speculated that these rings may be connected to testing of advanced technologies, potentially involving energy or atmospheric manipulation. Others have suggested that they could represent the detection of massive objects or structures temporarily interacting with radar systems in ways beyond conventional explanation. What makes the Indian anomaly especially intriguing is that it was not hidden within storm systems, but stood out prominently, as if deliberately etched into the radar data. Social media communities following these anomalies were quick to highlight how global weather networks continue to display them without offering definitive explanations. Each time, the same questions are raised. If these are simply technical errors, why do they occur so frequently? Why do they appear in such uniform shapes? And why do they last for extended periods? The lack of direct answers has only added to public speculation and interest. For the skywatcher who first noticed the Indian anomaly, the discovery represents more than just a curiosity. It is a reminder that there may be far more occurring in the skies above us than is openly acknowledged. The footage, now widely circulated, has contributed to a sense that these radar rings may be a sign of hidden forces or technologies operating quietly above our heads. For now, the Indian radar anomaly remains unexplained. Yet its appearance adds momentum to the growing belief that these phenomena cannot be dismissed so easily. Whether caused by advanced technology, atmospheric experimentation, or something entirely unknown, its 14-minute presence is one more example of the mysteries unfolding in our skies. In an era of advanced technology and scientific exploration, the unexpected appearance of a massive circular object on weather radar above Mexico has stirred intrigue and speculation. Detected by an online user monitoring atmospheric conditions, this anomaly has captured the attention of UFO enthusiasts and the general public. On a seemingly ordinary day, weather radar systems across Mexico picked up an unusual and massive circular object high above the country. This object, unlike any typical meteorological phenomenon, presented as a well-defined circular formation, prompting immediate curiosity and concern among meteorologists. The radar signature was first noticed by someone who was looking through the application, with them saying that they were monitoring routine weather patterns. The object appeared as a large, circular anomaly with clear edges, distinguishable from the surrounding weather data. Initial assessments suggested that the object was stationary at a high altitude, but its precise nature remained unclear. News of the detection spread quickly through public channels, with online users speculated as to what could have been causing this mysterious anomaly. Social media platforms were abuzz with speculation, and news outlets began reporting on the mysterious object. The appearance of such a distinct and massive object on weather radar has led to numerous hypotheses, ranging from conventional meteorological phenomena to more exotic theories. One of the more mundane explanations is that the object could be a weather balloon. However, this was very quickly rejected due to the size of the object. Certain atmospheric conditions can create unusual radar reflections. However, the precise circular shape and the lack of corresponding visual phenomena make this explanation less convincing. Some suggest that the object could be a military or experimental aircraft. Given the size and altitude, it could be part of a classified operation involving advanced technology. Governments often conduct tests that are not disclosed to the public, and such an explanation could account for the secrecy and peculiar radar signature. Nonetheless, no official statements or confirmations have been made by military authorities. The most interesting hypothesis is that the object is an extraterrestrial craft. UFO enthusiasts have pointed to the precise circular shape and the stationary position as evidence supporting this theory. This object, distinct from any known meteorological phenomenon, appeared on radar screens as a well-defined stationary formation. Its size and shape resembled that of a colossal disk, leading to immediate curiosity and concern among the observers. The object was first detected by a weather radar station, which initially registered it as a potential atmospheric anomaly. However, further analysis revealed that the object maintained a consistent altitude and showed a solid, dense radar signature, distinguishing it from typical weather formations like clouds or storm systems. The anomaly measured over 100 miles in diameter, making it significantly larger than any known aircraft or natural atmospheric occurrence. The detection of such a massive unidentified object has led to various hypotheses, ranging from conventional to extraordinary. The scientific community has traditionally been skeptical of UFO sightings due to a lack of credible evidence. However, the detailed radar data and pilot observations in this case provide a compelling basis for further study. Interdisciplinary research involving radar technology, aerospace engineering, and atmospheric science is crucial for understanding and potentially explaining such phenomena. From a security perspective, the appearance of a massive unidentified object in national airspace is a cause for concern. Many users who saw the anomaly said that the Mexican government, along with international allies, must assess the potential threat posed by such objects. This incident may prompt increased investment in advanced radar and tracking systems, as well as the development of protocols for responding to UAP encounters. Public interest in UFOs has been reignited by this event, highlighting the enduring fascination with extraterrestrial life and unexplained phenomena. The incident has sparked widespread media coverage and discussion, contributing to a growing movement advocating for transparency and disclosure regarding UFO sightings. Governments and scientific institutions may face increasing pressure to release information and conduct open investigations into unidentified objects. Regardless of the object's true nature, its detection has broader implications for science, public perception, and the discourse surrounding unidentified aerial phenomena. The detection of the circular object has reignited public interest in UFOs and unidentified aerial phenomena. This event has been added to the growing list of unexplained occurrences that captivate the public imagination. Such incidents often prompt discussions about the limitations of our current scientific understanding and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. As of right now, the detection of a massive circular object on weather radar above Mexico remains a mystery, challenging our understanding of atmospheric phenomena and the capabilities of current technology. While conventional explanations such as weather balloons, atmospheric anomalies, or military aircraft have been considered, none fully account for the observed characteristics. This leaves the door open to more exotic theories, including the possibility of extraterrestrial origin. Dennis Asberg, one of the original divers who helped discover the mysterious Baltic Sea anomaly, has just released a new video update that has captured the attention of researchers and enthusiasts worldwide. In the video, shared on Twitter, Asberg expresses that he is completely at a loss for words, a rare reaction from someone so familiar with the anomaly. While he doesn't go into full detail, his tone and phrasing strongly suggest that something significant has recently come to light. Asberg has been collaborating with Dr. Beatrice Villarroel, an astronomer known for her research into the possibility of extraterrestrial civilizations. Together, they have been focused on studying the Baltic Sea anomaly in greater depth. Though no direct claims were made, Asberg's careful choice of words implies that the pair may have uncovered something groundbreaking. The sudden and vague nature of the announcement has left many eagerly awaiting further information.
Hej på er allihopa. Gå inte iväg nu. Gå inte iväg. Swisha inte bort mig. Det här är viktigt jag har att säga. Otroligt viktigt. Jag kom hem för en liten stund sedan efter att ha varit på jobbet på Stockholms universitet där jag jobbat tillsammans med Beatrice Villarroel som astronom. Som ni vet, vi jobbar ju med det här med Baltic Sea anomaly, det här föremålet i Östersjön. Men Beatrice jobbar ju också med det här att hitta liv och intelligens ute i rymden och särskilt i närheten av jorden. När jag kom till jobbet idag, jag vet ju vad Beatrice har fått fram för data förut. Men den här nya datan som hon fick idag, eller rättare sagt hon fick det i natt. Är helt galet. Jag kan alltså inte berätta allting för er nu. Jag kan inte göra det av vissa skäl. För att det här måste presenteras på ett vetenskapligt sätt som det är inom den världen. Men det jag kan säga det är att jag har aldrig blivit så chockad som jag blev när jag var på jobbet idag. Både Beatrice och jag, vi har lite ont i magen nu kan jag säga. Nu vet vi saker och ting som väldigt få människor vet.
Following Dennis Asberg's recent announcement, excitement and speculation have rippled across social media platforms. His emotionally charged message, in which he stated that he was at a loss for words, left a lasting impression on viewers who have followed the Baltic Sea anomaly story for years. Asberg, one of the original divers to discover the anomaly back in 2011, is not known for exaggeration, so his visible reaction has led many to believe that something extraordinary may have just been uncovered. Supporters and amateur researchers immediately took to platforms like X, formerly Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, sharing clips of the video and debating what the breakthrough could be. Many pointed out that Asberg's tone was not one of alarm, but of genuine awe, suggesting a discovery so compelling that even he, after years of deep-sea exploration, was taken aback. Many said that Dennis was speechless, and that alone says a lot. Others chimed in with hopeful messages, saying they've been following the Baltic Sea anomaly for over a decade, and that this might be the moment they've been waiting for. The involvement of Dr. Beatrice Villarroel, a respected astronomer known for her work on the search for non-human intelligence, has only heightened the intrigue. The fact that she and Asberg are now working together on the anomaly adds a serious scientific weight to the mystery. Many believe her perspective and methodology may have uncovered something that couldn't have been seen through traditional exploration alone. Some speculate the team may have detected artificial geometry, unusual radiation patterns, or perhaps even found access to internal chambers. Others believe the anomaly could be a natural geological structure, now revealed to have properties unlike anything seen before. As mentioned, more interesting theories have also resurfaced, suggesting connections to ancient technology, submerged architecture, or unknown forms of life. Despite the wild range of guesses, one consistent thread unites the conversation. People trust that Dennis Asberg would not make such a statement lightly. His years of cautious, measured updates about the anomaly have built a certain credibility, and his emotional delivery has left many convinced that the coming update could change public understanding of what lies at the bottom of the Baltic Sea. There is also renewed discussion about why past investigations were often slowed, underfunded, or met with scientific skepticism. Some wonder whether the mainstream has simply dismissed the anomaly for too long, and if this new revelation will finally put the mystery back into serious consideration. As anticipation grows, viewers are refreshing Dennis Asberg's channels, waiting for the full report or video to drop. The mystery that once captured the imagination of millions may now be on the verge of entering a new chapter, one that could either deepen the puzzle or finally begin to unlock its secrets. Whatever is coming next, it's clear that many believe it will be significant, and for once, even the skeptics are watching. In June of the year 2011, the world was captivated by the announcement of a peculiar underwater discovery in the northern Baltic Sea. This anomaly, which soon became the subject of widespread debate and speculation, was first detected by Peter Lindbergh, Dennis Asberg, and the Swedish Ocean X diving team. While on a mission to locate a centuries-old shipwreck, the team stumbled upon something far more mysterious, an unusual formation resting silently on the ocean floor. Described by the team as measuring approximately 60 meters in diameter and about 3 to 4 meters in thickness, the formation bore a rough, granite-like appearance. It was not lying flat against the seabed. Rather, it was perched atop a pillar-like structure measuring around 8 to 9 meters in height. The anomaly sits at a depth ranging from 85 to 90 meters beneath the surface of the Baltic Sea. From the moment of its discovery, speculation abounded. Was it a geological formation, a remnant of ancient architecture, or something more mysterious altogether? When the discovery first came to light, media outlets around the world rushed to report on the strange find. Articles, interviews, and discussions popped up across television networks, social media, and online forums. The structure, quickly dubbed the Baltic Sea anomaly, captured the imagination of the public due to its unusual shape and apparent symmetry. Enthusiasts compared it to various iconic shapes, including spacecraft-like forms and long-lost cities. The Ocean X team returned to the site several weeks later, eager to explore further. This time, they brought with them a remotely operated vehicle, known as an ROV, in hopes of gaining closer imagery and perhaps some physical samples. However, something unexpected occurred. As the remotely operated underwater vehicle descended and reached within a few meters of the anomaly, the team experienced a technical glitch that left them puzzled. According to Peter Lindbergh, the compass aboard the remotely operated underwater vehicle began behaving erratically. Describing the incident, he explained that the compass was living its own life, and that due to both the visibility and this odd compass activity, it became very difficult to determine where exactly the remotely operated underwater vehicle was located. Additionally, the tether connecting the remotely operated underwater vehicle kept getting snagged, further complicating their efforts. This was not the first time unusual behavior had been observed around the anomaly. During their earlier expedition, members of the Ocean X crew reported experiencing equipment failures as they approached the site. Stefan Hogerborn, a professional diver with the team, remarked that anything electronic, including their satellite phone, would cease functioning when directly above the object. Once the vessel moved approximately 200 meters away from the anomaly, the devices mysteriously began working again. This on and off functionality sparked conversations regarding possible magnetic interference or unknown energy fields surrounding the site. What made matters even more intriguing was that, during their second dive, the team reported seeing what looked like a staircase leading up to the top of the structure. They also noted the presence of a perfectly round black hole that appeared to descend directly into the body of the anomaly. These observations challenged the notion that the formation was simply a rock or a product of natural erosion. The divers believed that the shapes, particularly the staircase-like design and the hole, were unlikely to have been formed through purely natural processes. Later accounts by the team suggested that the structure included multiple right angles and geometric shapes that seemed out of place in the natural underwater environment. They expressed that the object, or structure, had a level of complexity and symmetry that they had not encountered before in their diving careers. Perhaps most puzzling of all was a large circular opening discovered on the top side of the anomaly. To those present, it did not resemble any known geological features and looked deliberately carved or manufactured. Another feature that caught the team's attention was a collection of rocks or stones resting atop the object itself. One of the divers, after inspecting the formation up close, reported finding a pattern that looked like a circular arrangement. What struck them as odd was not just the presence of these stones, but the way they were positioned, as if arranged by design rather than by random underwater currents or geological movement. The diver openly questioned how such a configuration could naturally occur, given the conditions and depth at which the anomaly lies. With each return to the site, the Ocean X team uncovered more perplexing features that deepened the mystery. They also reiterated the challenges of operating near the anomaly, particularly due to the recurring malfunctions in electronic devices and the unpredictability of their navigational equipment. These ongoing difficulties made detailed exploration and data collection an arduous task. It also made it clear that even if they managed to reach the anomaly again, drawing definitive conclusions from their observations would not be easy. The speculation surrounding the anomaly continues to this day. While some researchers suggest it may be a rare natural formation, others argue that the precision of its features hints at something artificial, or at the very least, something influenced by intelligent design. There have even been some interesting theories suggesting links to ancient civilizations, submerged structures, or even objects of unknown origin. While many of these theories are speculative in nature, they reflect the immense curiosity that the anomaly has sparked across disciplines. The Ocean X team has always emphasized their intention to approach the mystery from a scientific perspective. Despite the growing attention and speculative commentary, they have focused on gathering verifiable data and encouraging experts from multiple fields to weigh in. Nevertheless, the lack of conclusive answers, combined with the anomaly's bizarre characteristics, has only fueled public intrigue. In the years since the initial discovery, calls for further scientific investigations have grown louder. Geologists, marine archaeologists, and physicists have all expressed interest in conducting a deeper analysis of the anomaly. However, due to the location, the required resources, and the technological challenges of working at such a depth, large-scale investigations have remained limited. That said, many believe that future expeditions, with improved equipment and greater collaboration between scientific bodies, could yield groundbreaking results. What continues to puzzle many is how little definitive information exists, even over a decade after its discovery. The anomaly's remote location and the technical barriers to fully surveying it contribute to its ongoing elusiveness, but perhaps it is precisely this ambiguity that keeps the Baltic Sea anomaly so embedded in modern mystery. The Ocean X team, despite their best efforts, remains unsure about the true nature of what they have found, and they continue to encourage further exploration by independent parties. As of right now, the Baltic Sea anomaly remains one of the most intriguing underwater discoveries of the 21st century. Found during a routine search for a sunken ship, it has since become a subject of international fascination. With its geometric shapes, strange magnetic interference, and unexplained features like staircases and circular openings, the anomaly resists easy explanation. Whether it is a rare natural formation, a relic from ancient times, or something entirely unknown, its mystery continues to captivate the imagination of people around the globe. As technology advances and interest grows, there is hope that one day the full story of the anomaly will come to light. Until then, it lies silently beneath the Baltic Sea, challenging what we think we know about our world. On the 18th of March 2024, a remarkable and mysterious astronomical observation was made by Daiichi Fuji of the Hiratsuka City Museum's astronomy department in Japan. The footage, recorded under pristine observational conditions, captured what appears to be a massive, silent, disc-shaped object passing across the face of the moon. At first glance, the object exhibits a flawless ring-like formation, but closer scrutiny has ignited debate among enthusiasts and researchers. Some suggest it is not a hollow ring at all, but rather a solid disc whose edges are illuminated by the moon's reflected light, leaving the central portion in shadow. This subtle difference in interpretation has profound implications for understanding what was truly recorded that night. The first striking aspect of the sighting is the object's geometry. Natural space debris, such as meteoroids or fragments from past missions, typically displays irregular shapes or inconsistent reflective patterns. Here, however, the formation is perfectly symmetrical and consistent in its glow. The distinct outline stands in sharp contrast to the moon's textured surface behind it, lending the object an almost deliberate presence. Observers have remarked that the symmetry is so refined that it suggests the object is not a random piece of drifting material, but instead the product of intelligent design. Equally intriguing is the question of the object's location in space. If the object is within Earth's atmosphere, it would still be unusually large for any known aerial craft, and would have to be moving at tremendous speed to cover the moon's full visible diameter in just a matter of seconds. If it is outside the atmosphere, the implications are staggering. It would be colossal, potentially hundreds of miles in size. Such a scale challenges conventional thinking about what kind of technology could produce and maneuver such an object. The question of perspective also adds another layer of complexity. Some have theorized that we may be viewing the underside of the craft, and that its apparent transparency is an illusion caused by the moon's light failing to reach certain surfaces. From this viewpoint, the darker central area might simply be the shadowed hull, while the brighter outer edge is being kissed by lunar illumination. This would suggest a disc-shaped form rather than a true ring, which would align with many historical reports of unidentified objects observed in both Earth's atmosphere and near-Earth space. The speed of the transit has also been a point of intense discussion. Covering the moon's width in seconds indicates either extremely high velocity or close proximity to the observer. Yet the footage lacks the visual distortions typically associated with nearby moving objects, hinting that the transit may have occurred much farther away, possibly in the vicinity of the moon itself. If so, the sheer scale of the object becomes even more extraordinary, dwarfing any known human-made structure. The credibility of this recording is bolstered by its origin. Unlike many sightings captured by individuals with consumer-grade equipment, this footage was obtained by a professional astronomer affiliated with a recognized museum's astronomy department. This setting ensures that the observation was made under controlled conditions, using instruments capable of producing clear, high-quality imagery. The absence of atmospheric haze, combined with the precision of the framing, makes it difficult to dismiss the footage as an optical illusion or accidental artifact. In the broader context of lunar mysteries, this sighting finds itself among a long lineage of unexplained phenomena near our nearest celestial neighbor. Throughout modern history, there have been numerous reports of lights, structured silhouettes, and other anomalies in close proximity to the Moon. Some accounts come from amateur astronomers, others from military observers, and a handful from astronauts themselves during lunar missions. This object, however, benefits from the advantage of modern imaging and a professional observational source, making it a more tangible case than many of its predecessors. One compelling theory put forward by some researchers is that the object may be part of a fleet or series of craft operating near the Moon. The Moon has long been speculated to hold strategic or observational value for advanced visitors, acting as a stable platform from which to monitor Earth. In this scenario, the craft captured in the footage might have been performing a transit between two observation points, its brief crossing of the Moon's face an unintended reveal. Other interpretations suggest a more deliberate action. Perhaps the object was positioned to be visible for only a few seconds to avoid extended detection, or perhaps it was executing a maneuver that briefly intersected the observer's line of sight. The rapid, smooth crossing with no visible signs of propulsion suggests advanced capabilities beyond anything currently acknowledged in public aerospace technology. The toroidal or ring-like form of the object has also drawn comparisons to certain historical accounts of craft described as halo ships or toroid vessels in older case studies. While the vast majority of unidentified aerial or spaceborne objects are reported as disks, spheres, or elongated cylinders, there exists a smaller but consistent subset of sightings featuring ring-shaped structures. These are often described as having unusual motion characteristics, including rapid acceleration, silent operation, and the ability to maintain stable orientation regardless of trajectory changes. If the object was indeed operating in the Moon's vicinity, its movement would have been under the influence of both lunar and terrestrial gravitational fields, requiring precise navigational control. This reinforces the perception of an intelligently guided craft rather than a drifting object. The fact that it remained intact and clearly defined during the entire transit is yet another sign that we are observing something purposefully engineered. The sighting's timing was particularly fortuitous. The object appeared near the Moon's illuminated edge, a position that allowed for maximum contrast and visibility. The interplay between the object's lit outer rim and the deep blackness of space created a silhouette that made the geometry unmistakable. Such positioning could have been coincidental, but if intentional, it would suggest the operators of the craft were aware of how their presence would appear from Earth. From a scientific perspective, the implications of such a craft are profound. An object of this size and sophistication would suggest an extraordinary level of technological development, one that could reshape our understanding of propulsion, materials science, and even energy systems. If it is capable of crossing interplanetary distances with such stealth and efficiency, it may represent a mode of travel humanity has not yet approached in its own space exploration efforts. For those who regard the sighting as genuine, the presence of such a craft near the Moon opens the door to the possibility that our planet is under periodic observation by advanced visitors. The Moon, being a stable and unobtrusive base of operations, would be an ideal location for such activities. Some have even speculated that certain anomalies recorded on the lunar surface, unusual shadows, geometric formations, and transient light events, may be connected to the operation of such objects. In the weeks following the sighting, discussion among astronomers, enthusiasts, and independent researchers has been vibrant. While skeptics have proposed explanations ranging from camera artifacts to reflections from nearby objects, the uniformity and precision of the object's form have proven difficult to dismiss. The fact that the footage originated from a reputable institutional source rather than an anonymous internet upload has only strengthened the case for those inclined to view it as evidence of advanced non-human technology. This event also underscores the importance of continuous lunar observation. In an era when much attention is focused on Mars and deep space, the Moon remains a near and accessible platform for exploration and study. High-resolution monitoring could yield further anomalies, potentially providing additional data on objects like the one observed on the 18th of March. Ultimately, this sighting serves as both a tantalizing clue and a reminder of the vast unknowns that remain in our cosmic neighborhood. Whether the object was a singular event or part of a broader pattern, it stands as a compelling piece of visual evidence that challenges our assumptions about what operates in the space between Earth and the Moon. The silent, swift passage of that luminous ring or disk across the lunar face has left an enduring impression, not just on those who recorded and analyzed it, but on all who have seen the footage and felt the stirring possibility that it represents contact with something far beyond our current understanding. If future observations confirm the presence of similar objects, historians may look back on this moment as a turning point, when a brief, silent transit across the Moon hinted at a greater reality unfolding just beyond the reach of our most trusted instruments. In the meantime, the March sighting will remain a point of fascination, a subject of serious study, and perhaps a quiet harbinger of discoveries yet to come. The Hubble sky map has long been celebrated as one of humanity's most remarkable windows into the universe, giving people the ability to roam the stars, nebulae, and galaxies as though traveling through the heavens themselves. It is a tool that places the cosmos at the fingertips of anyone with curiosity, a chance to peer into the infinite depths of space and marvel at the beauty of creation. Yet recently, during what was supposed to be another routine journey through this digital universe, a discovery was made that has stirred both wonder and unease. An ordinary user, scanning across a seemingly unremarkable patch of sky, came across a structure that did not fit into any known category of celestial phenomena. The image at first appeared as one might expect, a canvas of blackness punctuated by countless distant stars, their light shimmering from unimaginable distances away. But the calm familiarity of the starfield quickly gave way to something startling. At the center of the frame, a luminous object emerged, unlike anything catalogued in the surrounding region. It was large, glowing, and possessed qualities that immediately set it apart from the pinpoints of starlight scattered around it. Its appearance was so striking that it could not be ignored, forcing even casual observers to pause and reconsider what they were seeing. Unlike the small, sharp dots of stars or the cloudy outlines of galaxies, this anomaly had a form that was elongated and symmetrical. A bright central body blazed at its core, while horizontal streaks of light extended outward in either direction, framing it with a strange precision. This was not the irregular glow of a nebula, nor the swirling spiral of a galaxy. Instead, it possessed sharpness, symmetry, and an intensity of light that suggested something entirely different. It appeared structured, perhaps even engineered, as though design had been woven into its very existence. For those accustomed to viewing images from the Hubble telescope, the contrast was unmistakable. Stars typically blend into the backdrop, their brilliance diminished by distance. Galaxies appear as faint smudges, discernible but diffuse. Nebulae, though spectacular, are chaotic and cloud-like, spreading in irregular patterns across the sky. This object, however, defied those categories. Its clear edges, glowing streaks, and geometric balance hinted at something that did not belong to the catalogues of natural cosmic bodies. What made the sighting all the more remarkable was that it was found on the Hubble sky map itself, meaning the data originated from one of humanity's most advanced space telescopes. Unlike images taken from the ground, which can be distorted by Earth's atmosphere or subject to lens flares, the Hubble operates in orbit, free from the interference of air and weather. Its observations are designed to be precise, reliable, and unclouded by error. This fact strengthened the belief that the anomaly captured was not an illusion, but something genuinely present in the depths of space. The structure's appearance raised immediate questions about its nature. If it were a natural object, why did it show such symmetry? Why was its light concentrated into a sharp, glowing core, flanked by horizontal streaks that looked almost deliberate? Natural objects, from stars to galaxies, rarely form shapes so geometrically balanced. To many who examined the image, the qualities of the anomaly seemed to hint at design, as though it were constructed rather than formed by chance. Its brightness was equally intriguing. The object did not simply blend into the starfield. Instead, it dominated its region, standing out boldly against the distant points of light. It radiated with an intensity that demanded attention, drawing the eye away from the countless stars surrounding it. This concentration of light suggested either a reflective surface catching illumination from another source, or an object producing energy of its own. Either possibility hinted at something extraordinary. Observers began to speculate about what the structure might be. Some imagined it as an enormous craft, traversing interstellar space with technology far beyond human capability. Its central glow could be interpreted as a form of propulsion or energy core, while the horizontal streaks might represent structural extensions, perhaps even vast arms or wings. Others suggested it could be a station of some kind, a colossal installation drifting among the stars, serving as a beacon or an outpost for purposes unknown. The scale of the anomaly added to its mystery. Based on its brightness and dominance in the frame, it appeared to be massive, possibly stretching across miles of space. Human spacecraft, by comparison, are mere specks in orbit, dwarfed by the immensity of the cosmos. This structure, however, seemed unconstrained by the limitations that bind human engineering. It looked as though it belonged to a civilization with resources and technology far beyond anything on Earth. What unsettled many was the fact that the object did not appear in any catalogues of known stars or galaxies in that region. It was not listed, not identified, and not explained. The absence of any official recognition only deepened the sense of mystery. If this was truly captured by Hubble, it suggested the presence of something previously hidden from human eyes, something that had remained undetected until now. Some began to wonder if similar anomalies had been captured before, but quietly withheld or overlooked. After all, the vastness of the sky means that even powerful telescopes can only capture fragments at a time. If such objects exist, they could easily remain concealed among the endless expanse of stars. The fact that this discovery was made not by a government scientist, but by an ordinary user, only added weight to the suspicion that the skies may contain far more mysteries than have been openly acknowledged. The implications of such a structure are staggering. If artificial, it would stand as evidence of advanced intelligence elsewhere in the cosmos, proof that humanity is not alone. Its sheer size would suggest a civilization capable of feats far surpassing human engineering, able to construct vessels or stations that defy our understanding of physics and resources. The presence of such a structure, emerging from the depths of space, could mark one of the most profound discoveries in human history. Even if natural, the anomaly would still challenge current understanding. Space is filled with wonders, yet the clear geometric symmetry of this object sets it apart from the usual forms of stars, nebulae, or galaxies. It would force astronomers to reconsider what processes could give rise to such a shape, and whether previously unknown phenomena might be at work. Speculation extended to its purpose. If it is a craft, where did it come from, and where is it going? Some suggested it could be a beacon, a deliberate signal designed to attract attention from emerging civilizations such as our own. Others wondered if it might be a remnant of a far older era, a relic drifting through the galaxy long after its creators had moved on. The discovery has also sparked philosophical reflections. Humanity has long gazed into the night sky, wondering whether we are alone. For centuries, the question of other civilizations has been one of the great mysteries. Now, with telescopes like Hubble offering unprecedented views, it seems increasingly possible that answers may lie just beyond our reach. If this object is indeed artificial, it would confirm that humanity is part of a larger cosmic community and that we are only beginning to understand our place in the universe. Critics, of course, have offered alternative explanations, but none convincingly account for the qualities of the image. The object's symmetry undermines the argument of it being a random distortion, while its brightness and scale diminish the possibility of it being a minor glitch. The fact that it was captured by Hubble, a telescope designed for precision, adds further weight to the claim that this was no accident. As debates continue, one fact remains. The image has introduced a mystery that cannot be easily dismissed. Whether artificial or natural, the structure challenges assumptions and invites curiosity. It stands as a reminder that space is vast, filled with wonders yet to be discovered, and that our journey to understand it has only just begun. For the individual who first encountered it, the discovery was likely as startling as it was thrilling. What began as a casual exploration of the stars became a moment of revelation, a glimpse into something extraordinary. The image has since circulated widely, captivating those who see it and inspiring discussions about what it might mean for humanity's future. In the end, the glowing structure captured on the Hubble sky map represents more than just a mystery. It symbolizes the boundless potential of discovery, the thrill of finding the unexpected, and the reminder that the universe still holds secrets far beyond our imagination. Whether it is a vessel, a beacon, or something beyond comprehension, its presence offers hope that the story of the cosmos is far richer and more complex than we have ever dared to dream. On an otherwise ordinary night of stargazing, a man set out to capture time-lapse images of the night sky, expecting nothing more than a serene sequence of stars. However, what began as a routine experiment quickly transformed into something extraordinary. The man who took the image explained that he had set up his equipment to capture a sequence of long-exposure photographs, hoping to create a smooth and beautiful video of the stars drifting across the sky. The night was clear, and his focus was solely on the technical aspects of the process, exposure settings, lens adjustments, and ensuring his tripod remained steady. It was only later, when he reviewed the images, that the ordinary turned into something deeply extraordinary. The strange discovery was not his own at first. He recalled how his girlfriend was sitting beside him when they began scrolling through the images. She paused, leaning closer to the screen, and pointed out something unusual lingering near the bottom of one of the frames. At first glance, it was faint, almost hidden by the surrounding darkness. But as curiosity took hold, he decided to increase the brightness and contrast to better see what she had noticed. The moment the image adjusted, a shiver ran down his spine. There, emerging from the shadows of the cosmos, was the outline of something vast, an otherworldly figure that bore an uncanny resemblance to a biblically accurate angel. Its form was subtle, yet defined enough to be unmistakable. A symmetrical shape with what appeared to be wing-like structures radiating outward, and a core that suggested a central, powerful presence. The entity seemed to hover in the void, as though silently observing. The man, being religious, admitted the image deeply unsettled him. He had grown up with the understanding that angels were messengers of the divine, beings of immense power and importance. But unlike the soft, graceful figures seen in paintings and children's storybooks, biblically accurate angels, described in ancient scripture, were awe-inspiring, mysterious, and even fearsome in their appearance. This was no gentle figure in flowing robes. It was something far more imposing. In the Bible, such entities are described with multiple wings, eyes covering their forms, and shapes that defy earthly anatomy. These beings, seraphim, cherubim, and ophanim, are unlike anything found in nature, their forms meant to convey both the glory and the unapproachable majesty of the divine realm. He could not ignore the uncanny resemblance between what his camera had captured and the ancient descriptions. The faintness of the image only amplified its mystery. Why was it barely visible? Was it only by chance that his camera, with its specific settings, was able to detect it at all? The thought crossed his mind that perhaps such beings do not appear in full clarity to human eyes unless they choose to. The idea that this may have been a momentary glimpse into something far beyond human comprehension was both humbling and overwhelming. What made the experience even more haunting was the connection to Scripture. In multiple passages of the Bible, when angels appear to humans, their first words are often to reassure, "Do not be afraid," or "Fear not." This repeated message suggests that their true forms are so intense, so overwhelming, that fear would be a natural reaction upon seeing them. The man reflected on this as he looked again at his photograph. If this truly was an angel, then perhaps the very reason it appeared faint was a form of mercy, shielding the human viewer from the full intensity of its presence. He began to consider the implications. Biblical accounts often associate the arrival of angels with significant events or messages, moments where divine intervention or guidance is at hand. Could this have been such a moment? And if so, what was the message, if any, being conveyed? There had been nothing unusual about the night, no strange weather, no remarkable celestial events, yet the image existed, quietly defying explanation. His girlfriend was equally taken aback. They both found themselves revisiting the photograph repeatedly over the following days, each time drawn into the strange symmetry and subtle power it seemed to radiate. While skeptics might point to tricks of light, lens flares, or even coincidental shapes in cosmic dust, neither of them could shake the sense that this was different. The edges of the figure were too deliberate, its placement too central to be dismissed as chance. As the man shared the image online, Responses varied from intrigue to outright disbelief. But among those who saw it, many agreed that it bore the hallmarks of the biblical descriptions they had read or heard about. For some, it was a sign of hope or reassurance. For others, it was a sobering reminder of forces that might watch over humanity from beyond the veil of the visible universe. In the days that followed, the man felt a quiet shift in his perspective. Looking at the night sky no longer felt like a distant gaze into empty space. It felt like peering into a vast and living expanse, one where unseen presences might dwell. The photograph, whether a divine encounter or a rare cosmic alignment, had changed the way he thought about existence. It was a reminder that there is still mystery in the world, that not everything can be measured, explained, or predicted. He kept the original unaltered image, along with the brightened version that revealed the angelic form. Both served as a personal testament to that strange and unforgettable night. To him, it was more than just a photograph. It was an encounter, a moment where the infinite brushed against the finite, leaving a subtle but indelible mark on his life. And so the image remains, a quiet yet profound reminder that perhaps the heavens hold more than stars and dust. Perhaps, just as ancient texts have said for thousands of years, there are watchers in the sky, beings of immense power and mystery, who, for reasons unknown, occasionally allow themselves to be seen. Bourj Omar Dris is a remote town in Algeria with a population of only 5,736 residents. For many years, it was considered little more than a small settlement in the Sahara Desert, isolated and far from global attention. Its significance was largely tied to its geography, a quiet community existing in one of the most arid and expansive landscapes on Earth. Yet recently, this otherwise quiet town has become the focus of international speculation after users of Google Earth identified something extraordinary within its borders. When satellite images of the town were examined closely, a striking sight emerged from the shifting sands. In the middle of an otherwise barren desert, observers began to notice what appeared to be a massive circular structure partially buried in the ground. The shape was distinct, a symmetrical disc-like formation with a central dome, resembling the classic depiction of a UFO. Estimates suggest the object measures around 100 feet in diameter, far too large and too precise to be dismissed as a natural rock formation or a trick of shadow. What adds intrigue to the discovery is that this structure was not visible in earlier satellite imagery. When Google Earth's historical data was examined, images from just a year prior showed no evidence of the object. The land appeared untouched, without the unusual features now visible. This has led many to speculate that the object was either uncovered recently or placed there in the intervening time. The suddenness of its appearance is part of what has fueled the growing belief that something significant lies beneath the sands of Bourj Omar Dris. Adding to the mystery is the presence of what appear to be military vehicles and installations around the site. Zooming into the imagery reveals trucks, buildings, and what seem to be heavy equipment positioned in close proximity to the circular formation. For many observers, this detail transforms the discovery from a mere curiosity into something far more compelling. If the object were a natural anomaly, why would military resources be stationed around it? The implication, according to those studying the images, is that there has been an active effort to secure, investigate, or possibly conceal the structure. The suggestion of a cover-up has only deepened public curiosity. UFO researchers and enthusiasts argue that this is not the first time unusual discoveries in remote areas have been quickly surrounded by infrastructure. The speed with which equipment and vehicles appeared in Bourj Omar Dris suggests a level of urgency, as though the site was deemed significant enough to warrant immediate attention. Such swift mobilization has raised further questions about how much was already known about the area and whether the object had been monitored before its presence was revealed to the public through Google Earth. The sheer size of the circular object also plays an important role in the debate. At 100 feet across, it is far larger than any typical aircraft known to modern engineering. Its disc-shaped design and central dome are features that have long been associated with reports of advanced craft, whether from eyewitness accounts or historical depictions. Unlike irregular natural formations, the object appears deliberately constructed, symmetrical, and purposeful. The suggestion is clear. This may not be a natural phenomenon at all, but instead an engineered structure lying beneath the sands. The implications of such a discovery are profound. If genuine, it would indicate the existence of advanced technology hidden within one of the most remote areas of the Sahara. The presence of military infrastructure surrounding it suggests that authorities may already be aware of its significance and are taking steps to control access. To many observers, this aligns with a pattern seen elsewhere, where potential evidence of unexplained technology is quickly secured and shielded from public view. Local residents, while few in number, have reportedly noticed unusual activity in the area. Accounts speak of increased movement of vehicles and the sudden construction of facilities not previously present. For a town of fewer than 6,000 people, such developments stand out and have become part of the growing narrative. While direct testimony is scarce, the consistency of satellite imagery showing both the object and the surrounding activity has been enough to draw the attention of researchers worldwide. What makes Bourj Omar Dris unique is not only the appearance of the object, but the timing of its revelation. The fact that it appeared suddenly within a year has sparked countless questions. Was it always there, buried beneath the desert, and only recently exposed by natural shifts in sand and wind? Or was it transported there, placed intentionally in one of the most isolated locations on Earth to avoid detection? Both possibilities carry weighty implications. If it was buried, its exposure could represent the unearthing of technology hidden for centuries or longer. If it was transported, the logistics of moving such a massive structure suggest resources and capabilities far beyond what is commonly acknowledged. The suggestion of concealment is further reinforced by the apparent effort to build around the site. From above, the military presence appears almost to encircle the object, as though to create a perimeter. Observers have suggested that the surrounding activity is not random but organized, designed to secure the area and prevent unwanted access. For those who argue that this is evidence of a deliberate cover-up, Bourj Omar Dris has become one of the most significant case studies of recent years. The desert setting itself adds an additional layer of intrigue. The Sahara, with its vast expanses of sand and minimal population density, has long been considered an ideal location for hidden projects and secret installations. With so few eyes on the ground and limited access to remote regions, it becomes possible to conduct operations away from public scrutiny. The presence of such an object in Bourj Omar Dris fits this pattern, where remoteness offers a form of natural protection from widespread discovery. The discovery has sparked debates far beyond the UFO community. Historians, geologists, and engineers have all weighed in, attempting to interpret the satellite imagery. Some argue that the object could be an industrial installation, while others maintain that its symmetrical design rules out such mundane explanations. The lack of clarity has only intensified interest, leaving more questions than answers. Philosophically, the implications of the discovery are vast. If the object is indeed an advanced craft or structure, it challenges humanity's understanding of history and technology. It raises questions about whether other civilizations, human or otherwise, have interacted with Earth in ways long forgotten or hidden. For those who believe the evidence points towards something extraordinary, Bourj Omar Dris may represent one of the clearest indications yet that humanity is not alone. The fact that this potential discovery was made by ordinary users of Google Earth adds to its significance. In an age where surveillance is widespread and information is tightly controlled, the ability of everyday people to stumble upon something extraordinary using publicly available tools is a reminder of how much remains hidden in plain sight. It also raises the question of how many other anomalies might be waiting to be discovered in remote corners of the globe. Despite the mounting evidence, officials have remained silent. There has been no formal acknowledgement of the object, nor any explanation for the sudden appearance of vehicles and buildings in the area. This silence has only fueled speculation further, with many concluding that the lack of response is itself a form of confirmation. If the object were mundane, why not simply explain it? The refusal to address the discovery leaves the door open for continued theories about what lies beneath the sands of Bourj Omar Dris. For now, the circular object remains one of the most intriguing mysteries visible on Google Earth. Whether it is the remnants of advanced technology, an ongoing project hidden from the public, or something else entirely, its presence has captured the imagination of people around the world. For a town of fewer than 6,000 people, Bourj Omar Dris has suddenly become the center of a global conversation about secrecy, discovery, and the possibility of extraordinary truths hidden in plain sight. According to a former CIA agent, amidst the ongoing discussions surrounding unidentified flying objects and other advanced beings, there is a prediction that aliens will make their presence known to humanity in the near future. According to a former CIA agent, the disclosure of advanced life is expected to occur within the upcoming years. John Ramirez, an individual who had an extensive tenure working within a mysterious government organization, recently shared his compelling insights during an interview. He candidly disclosed that the prevalent discussions regarding the unearthing of unidentified flying objects and the purported concealment of such information by the government have sparked a desire within individuals like him to step forward and share their experiences. Ramirez asserts that the allegations regarding a cover-up are simply a strategic approach to prepare individuals for the impending moment of revelation. According to his statement, the highly anticipated revelation is expected to take place in the year 2027. The speaker mentioned that the efforts being made are aimed at preparing not only the United States population, but also the global population for the forthcoming reality. In this particular situation, it is crucial to acknowledge and address the existence of a certain presence. The reason being, if this presence were to make its appearance, and we were to carry on with our actions from previous decades, it would undeniably result in widespread panic. Consequently, it is of utmost importance that we thoroughly explain and comprehend this presence in order to prevent such chaos. Throughout history, the United States government has consistently refuted and dismissed any unexplained extraterrestrial occurrences, and it has only been in the last few years that they started openly talking about the topic. In recent times, there has been a revelation made by a former Air Force intelligence officer stating that the United States has been deliberately keeping a long-established program under wraps. This program specifically focuses on the retrieval and subsequent reverse engineering of unidentified flying objects. Retired Major David Grush's testimony before a House Oversight Subcommittee generated significant anticipation among Congress members. The hearing served as the latest exploration into the realm of UAPs, otherwise known as unidentified aerial phenomena. Former CIA agent John Ramirez said the following: "It is my personal belief that there are residents, visitors, and strangers, residents being, I believe, are entities that have been here long before humanity have appeared, and in fact may have had some involvement in making us who we are today, otherwise we would still be primates. But we're not, we've been elevated, and I believe it is the residents who did this, and I know that's very controversial, but it's a personal belief, and that's how I saw it for myself, and the visitors might actually be from other worlds, and the strangers I don't know where they're from. But it seems very frightening to read the accounts of people who have experienced very disastrous effects with their health from encountering the disturbing aspects of the phenomena." End quote. Imagine a world where the existence of extraterrestrial life is no longer a subject of speculation, but an undeniable reality. This scenario, once relegated to the realm of science fiction, is increasingly gaining traction as governments, militaries, and reputable institutions around the world release information regarding unidentified flying objects and encounters with unknown aerial phenomena. While we cannot predict with certainty when or how alien disclosure will happen, it is worth exploring the potential consequences and profound implications of such a revelation for humanity.